and I've had the worm for a while, so I'm gonna be reviewing this now. So I'll just describe the characteristics of the cube first, then I'll get to other things on this cube. So when turning it, you'll obviously see that it's actually pretty fast at first, and it is a little flimsy at first, but I have the spring compression system on the tightest setting. It does pretty well for the cube for me, but of course it's all about preference. And it's also quite smooth despite not having that much lube in it. It's only lubed with like 4 drops of lunar, so, and that's it. So it still feels really good after breaking. And out of the box, it was basically kind of the same like this, except it felt less broken in and a little less smooth, but it was still fast, which is, I do like fast-ish cubes, but not too fast. And it's pretty much well known that the worm is really stable, so I also like that. It's a pretty good combination for the feeling of the cube. And for corner cutting, even though it's not really that important to me, I guess I could make it part of this. It's pretty good. It does pretty well on, reverse quarter cutting. And this is, actually I think this is reverse quarter cutting, but I just forgot the difference. But the quarter cutting either way is I say is decent enough for me. I'm more accurate at turning, so this shouldn't affect me. Like when I'm doing algorithms, I don't really tend to lock up as much. So I guess I'll just be going over the physical parts of the worm. Obviously, there's the spring compression system I was talking about. It has 8 settings, I believe. You just take the tool that comes with the all the Moyu cubes, and you just twist it to whatever setting you want. And that's the screw, which is what the screw normally does. It just tensions. And I guess we can take a look at the pieces. All right, so mine's a little dirty, but that's fine. So the tracks are basically like any normal cube. It's just it's smooth here, no textures there, which I find interesting. But there is tracks here, which is pretty good, I guess. Edge tracks here is always pretty common in all these speed cubes. And I feel like maybe some textures here would probably make it a little better, but honestly, I'm not sure if I would feel a difference. Actually, I want to check out the corners. So here it has more of the tracks on a corner. It seems like pretty normal tracks for a corner, nothing unique. And the leg down here looks pretty normal as well. And I actually like these corner tracks. They're actually pretty cool in my opinion, because they always seem useful to me every time I lube. Because for some reason, all the cubes I used to get didn't have these, which was kind of weird. And the whole feeling and experience was just a lot different. And I'm pretty sure this makes it better. And it's just a normal. And pretty sure it's just a normal core inside there. Yep, nothing interesting about the core. No fancy stuff. So what I guess I'm gonna be going over next is like the ways to like maximize the worm's performance and how to make it a better cube. Setup and lube. Now I'll get more into that in a second. For setting up the cube, I recommend using a less viscous lube. Maybe something like Lunar, D&M, Silk, something like that. So yeah, silicone lube I guess is okay. And for this, I just use 4 drops of Lunar and somehow being the only loot in the cube that still worked just fine. And it helps me perform at around my normal average, so I'd say it's a pretty decent setup for me. So for tensions and like spring compression, I've heard that the worm does pretty good on the tightest spring setting, so I twisted all the way to the tightest spring setting. There's like 8 settings, I believe, so I'm on the 8th one. And for the tensions, I would make it closer to the tighter side, but that one's more about preference and how you like corner cutting and stability. So, some other things I recommend with the worm, I guess, is, so when it's neglected or used a little less than your other cubes, because if it's not your main or some other situation, it will actually be around the same, which is my experience with it, because once I haven't used it for like a week or so, while I was using some other cube and doing other stuff, but when I started turning again, it really didn't feel that different, and it might have been even smoother, but to be honest, I wouldn't be able to tell. So why do I have example solves in this vid? Well, it just helps get my point across and shows my performance with the cube. Thanks for watching my review on the original worm, and I hope you got to learn more about this cube and a couple tips on how to use it properly, and I hope you can check other reviews too to learn more.